Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 8, Episode 21, where we watch Milf Manor 2, aka Milf Manor Season 2, Episode 1, and kind of Episode 2. And Noah, go, because I don't have my quip ready.
I'm having a delicious time. This is Noah Singer.
I don't want my man to smell like an old person. I'm Chris Lorenz. So last week we watched The Goat on Amazon Prime, and we put up a poll on Twitter. We have a tie between top and middle third, which is exactly what happened on the podcast last week. So,
yeah. I guess the goat though is definitively not the goat.
Well, definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, it's to determine the goat, so it's not like trying to be the goat. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Noah, what show do we watch this week?
Set at a beautiful lakefront chalet, mature, hot, single moms are looking to find love with younger men. But one unexpected twist turns their world upside down. In the end, some find love, others find heartbreak, and a few find themselves. That's Milf Manor 2 on TLC.
So I think before we really talk about the show, we got to talk about two things. One thing is we don't tend to redo shows.
Yep.
And I think it's been since like the Challenge that we've ever really redone a show. Whereas like Challenge, we did like multiple season starts. And we're doing Milf Manor Season 2 because they changed the formula up. So Season 1 was about moms dating each other's sons.
Yep.
And then this one is about moms dating their son, dating some guys, some young guys. And then spoiler alert, which you definitely need to know the spoiler before you watch the show. It's really bad if you don't know the spoiler, is that it's sons and fathers. So it's like 5 pairs of sons and fathers dating these moms. And it's like an interesting dynamic I wanted to get into. I thought it would be fun to watch. So that's why we did Season 2. Now, I think that's expanding upon our usual limits. Like, if a new season of a show comes out and the formula is changed up enough, I think is doable. But we'll see how much we have to talk about with this Milf Manor show, I guess, to make that designation. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Like, I think, especially as if more reality shows go in this direction, we have to be open to it because it's not purely like Survivor season 37. Right? Like,
yeah. Like, we couldn't do this with Survivor. Like, just changing the formula by being like, oh, we're going to have a racist season. Like, maybe we do that, but I digress.
Yeah.
But like moving from Africa to China or something is like not like good enough. It's got to be like.
Yeah, they're holding the brand name, right? They're taking the brand name to take the equity of that, but this is a different show. This is just a
very different vibes for sure.
Yeah. And so the big twist, right? Like, I think we just got to go into it.
So like, let's talk about this twist for a minute. So episode 1, they're teasing a twist. There's no twist reveal until the very, very last word, really. Yeah. And I think that show. So if you're a constant listener, you would know that I had actually tried to watch this and stopped watching it, and I never made it to the twist because this episode is terrible. It's hard to watch. It's weird, like personally, because it's just MILFs dating young guys, and I don't know. It sets you off like you little twinge to it. You know, you're twinging a little bit. You're like, I don't know. This is weird. Like, this would be hella something you couldn't do really if it was guys. Even though I would argue like some of the Bachelor seasons might be like this. It's just like not the focus. It's just like so hyper focused on young and old that it ends up being really weird. So I think they did the show a disservice by having so much time before this twist. But once a twist happens, let's roll. This is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Like, I also don't think how you could watch a show. Like, I think it's hard to blindly come across a show and not be familiar with what the twist is. I think for that reason, like, I know how they put together episode one, but they probably could have tightened it up a little bit, right? Because it's just not like an M. Night Shyamalan twist, right? Like, you know what you're getting into to a certain degree.
To be clear, I did. I did do this. I
No.
watched a half hour of the show
Yeah.
and I turned it off because I'm like, what am I watching? This is boring. This is not moms dating each other's sons. That was hella fun. I
Yeah.
want to watch that again.
Yeah.
And now it's like just MILFs dating younger people, not awkward. Hell no. I don't care about that.
We need the
If I
awkward.
want that, I'll just watch like, Love Island or whatever, F Boy Island or whatever other show like this. It won't be as gross. Like it's kind of gross,
Mhm.
right? Like that's just me. So like I did turn the show off. I
Mhm.
never made it to the twist,
Man.
and it was really thanks to John Oliver this week that made
Mm.
me go back and be like, maybe we should give this show a second try.
Yeah. So John Oliver is doing a crossover. Probably not intentional. He doesn't seem to be in the pocket of big HBO necessarily, but who knows? They're still buttering his bread, wetting his beak.
Yeah,
But he focuses Milf Manor 2 on his latest episode twice. You get two clips, and he just
and it was 3 clips.
was it three? Oh, yeah.
I think it
Actually, I
was three.
realize I have 20 minutes left of the episode.
Yeah, there's an extra clip in there.
Oh, nice, nice. That's great. But yeah, he gives a shout out to this, and I think rightly deserved. Uh, it is a very good introduction to this show of like, whoa, what's going on here? How is this going
Yeah,
to play out?
for sure. Like it's like, oh, there's these awkward moments are back. Whoop, Chris is back. Let's go. Let's figure this out.
We're in. We're in.
I'm back in. It is like I don't know. All right, let's just go person by person here for
Yeah.
a sec and and see what kind of notes you are down for these people.
Yeah.
We've got I think we got the number one person in the house, which is Barbie.
Oh yeah.
She's 48.
Yeah.
She's looking for coochie tingles.
She's really big on the coochie tingles. That's her catchphrase.
See, men get boners, women get coochie tingles.
Yeah.
That's what she's looking for. She's an ex stripper. She has a 26-year-old son, and she's never been married.
Yep.
And I don't know if she's the most attractive person.
I was a little surprised by that. It looks like all the young guys are like Barbie, 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 Barbie. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. And like it's not apparent, I would say, in the episode that she's like clearly the number one.
Well, I meant she's 45, by the way. I think I messed up.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah. So she is the youngest person.
By a hair.
Yeah.
Like
But if I'm looking at the people that are there, you've got Barbie, and then you've got Crystal, you've got Christina, I
Yep.
think are the hot ones, and they're the youngest ones.
yeah, like
And
well, they're kind of all in a tight age range except for Kelly. Right? So you have 45, 46, 48, 50, 51. Like so that's a 5-year span. I think at that age, that's pretty trivial relatively. But then you have Kelly at 59, right? So you go 51 to 59. That's a pretty big jump.
yeah, and then it's very noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah. Kelly, like, I mean, for being 59, she's in incredible shape and all that, but like, definitely seems like a different, like, just a different, I don't know if generation's the right word, but like, doesn't fit the set they put up here.
Well, it's just like, let's think of this. Okay. So say you're 25.
Yeah.
You're back 25, and you really like Barbie, and
Mhm.
you're hooking up and you're banging and like whatever, having a great time.
Great time.
You're having a great time, and you're like, oh, let's see if this thing can work long term. You're 35, she's 55, and then you'll be 45 and she'll be 65. It's not great, but You know, it, it's not terrible. But if you're looking at 59 and you're 25, like in 10 years, she's going to be 70 years old.
Yeah.
Like, and you're going to be 30. Like,
No,
that's going to be no good.
at that
That's going to be
point,
no good.
like, no, you're right. And it's like the relative and the raw numbers start to change a lot. That, right? Like, even though you're first at 20 years, but then it's like 20 plus 14 years, right? So you're at a 70% gain at that point. Like, it's just,
Like, it's like,
yeah.
there's definitely a relative. Like, there's no way Kelly should end up with one of these young guys. But, like, again, this is if we're thinking long term. You
Which,
know, these young guys are definitely not thinking long term,
no,
as they probably shouldn't be. You know,
nor
they're
should the
just
MILFs. Like, I don't think the MILFs are thinking long term with the young guys, and especially when the dads come in, then that's like clearly you have the like wham bam, thank you, kid. And then you have the
yeah. It really shows like what your motivations are when like the dads show up. It's like, okay, dads, they're a little older than them, but you know, relatively the same age.
yeah,
You'll age together. You know, they could have had kids, they could have been divorced, they could have very similar life experiences to you, and like you could really build a life out of that.
yeah,
Or do you just want to bang some hot young guys?
right. And yeah, I think both of those both is okay, right? Like this has turned into like Milf Manor buffet. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of these people, you should probably, you know, how wrong would it be to hook up with his son and then go with the dad?
I feel like that's definitely happening at some point in the
Do
show.
you think that's definitely happening? I'm not sure that's happening. Like, you can hook up with a son and then end with the
Yeah,
dad, but not their son.
I don't know. I don't know.
That would, like, if that happens, whew, I mean, that's what you want. Because, like, you
Right.
want the most awkward situation for sure.
Yeah.
And that would be pretty awkward. Like, I think that any hookup on this show is going to be awkward. And I think that's
Yeah.
what you look forward to. It's like if the MILF hooks up with the dad, then the son's got to come in the next day and see them, like
Mm-hmm.
come out of the room, you know, like, oh, you know. I mean, I think it'd be more awkward for the son if they hooked up with a son, but like,
It's, I mean, anyone who hooks up in a house, it's gonna be awkward. It's
yeah,
all
I
just
know.
awkward.
That's what I said. And that, I mean, that's why you're watching the show, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're not watching like, I think for me, there's a couple reality templates that I really like. I
Mm.
like the Survivor challenge game kind of format. I
Right.
like the creative, you know, build something cool with this theme. And then I really like people watching. So, like Tiny House Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to watch boring people. I want to
No.
see the depravity. I want to see the awkwardness. I want to see, like, I just want to see some weird people. And
I
I
mean,
think
yeah.
this show, the depravity is on peak, on fleek on this one.
And they're not even weird people. Like these are, I would argue they seem generally normal people. For the most part, it's like they're just put in this ridiculous situation, and then they, for some reason, do not leave. Like I'm guessing they're getting a decent paycheck per show, but like there was a question on when you see this setup, it's just like check out. Thanks, no thanks.
I mean, they stayed around for Milf Manor season 1, which is way more weird.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, is it more? I guess so. And I didn't really think about which one's more weird.
Well, I'm just posing the question to you.
Oh, which one? I think this is weirder because it has you in direct competition with your parent, where you're not competing with your mom on Milf Manor 1, but it's in your
I
face, which is
Milf Manor 1, by far the weirdest. They did some weird challenges that were so cringy. Like,
I forgot the
Tell me
joke.
if this is your mom's underwear.
Did
Like,
they do
that's
that?
fucking
Uh,
weird.
I forgot about that.
Well, it wasn't in that episode we watched. It was in a later episode. But
Mhm.
like, they did like, okay, give everyone a massage and mom pick your son.
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah,
so the challenge we'll talk about, but it is whatever. The
yeah.
second episode challenge was a strip tease between the contest between the guys, the men and the sons,
Mm.
and
The Men and the Sons. I like that.
the men and the sons, the men and the. Well, I was gonna say the boys, but like they're not really. We're all men. So
Yeah,
the dads and the
yeah,
men, they're the men. Uh, and they get a little awkward because they watched each other do it,
yeah.
and
I
it's
saw
kind
that
of
clip.
awkward. It was kind of awkward to like have the dads watch their sons like striptease,
Yeah.
but like I don't think it's on that's like a whole like the original Milf Manor is on a whole other level.
Hmm. Yeah, the challenge is like, I think it'd be there's a side by side challenge comparison, and yeah, there's a lot of cringe opportunity. But I think without the challenges and without like really
Yeah,
forcefully stirring the pot, I'm just gonna go with because I don't have all that. I'm going on the surface, competing with a parent for the same person. I think that does it.
that's fair. That's fair. I just think there's like that motherly instinct to protect your kid,
Mm,
and then your kid's going out with another person. You want them to be good people,
yeah.
and like, do you think the people on the show are good or not? Like, if it was like, what if it was like your mom and all their best friends or whatever? Like, this is weird, right?
It's
Like,
super weird. Yeah.
this whole concept is weird. Okay,
Yes.
all right. We kind of had a big sidetrack there.
It's all right. So let's just go through the episode, like the basic arc, right? So
Well, they
he,
introduce all the women as they
yeah,
come in, right?
pretty
And that's why
typical introductions. Typical enough.
one thing I wanted to point out is Jamie. Jamie? I wrote her name is spelled Jamie, but she goes by
Jamie,
Jamie.
definitely Jamie. Yeah,
But it's spelled Jamie.
I mean, yes, but it's Jamie.
Uh, she's from Bucks County, where Brian and I
I wrote
were
that
raised.
down too because I was like, oh, you guys are from you guys are from the Buck, the big Buck.
Yeah. She had 2 divorces and she's an empty nester.
Yeah.
Some of these moms had kids real early.
Very early. Oh yeah, yeah.
They're-
Yeah, I think that's generally a trend here. Like they're all like not very old. Like you got like 45, 50, but like most of their kids are like college. Like not like the craziest. But also this show takes place in Canada. I think Ontario, somewhere around there to be specific. Do you think it's illegal to shoot this show in the US? That's why they have to get at it. I'm unclear why they don't just shoot in the US.
I don't know.
It's all American people in the show. So
No idea. I have no idea.
yeah.
We'll get into the Canadian specific notes on this episode. Then we got Kelly Mack. She's the one that's 59. She's divorced twice.
Hey, Mac.
We got Crystal. She's 48, and she's got grandkids.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like that's real young to have grandkids.
Very young.
She has 1 divorce, and she's very confident. She goes on a date later, and she's very confident.
Yeah, she got it together. She got it together.
She's also the one black person on the show.
Woman.
Woman, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a black father son combo.
Yep.
Then we got Christina. She's 46, and I wrote she's into BDSM.
Yeah.
That's my notes.
Actually, quick.
She also like to have her.
There are 2 father sons that are black.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Christina likes to get her butt bitten. She gets her
I
butt
mean,
bitten by Joey, I believe.
I don't know if she likes it, but so on the sun side, there's Joey. Joey likes to bite butts, and he asked Christina if he could bite her butt. She said okay, and she
In
liked
the
it.
hot tub.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the hot tub.
and she liked it. But I don't know if I'd go as far as say is like it's a Christina thing, it's a Joey thing. Christina enjoys it.
And our last woman on the show is Lynette. She's
Lynette.
50. She's had one divorce, and she's had a lot of fun with a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, after she got divorced, she said she had her like what did she call it? Her like hoe period or something like that.
Something like that.
Or like she's like, yeah, I basically had my kid in college or like right after college. I never had my opportunity to like go to the buffet, and so she did that.
Go to the buffet. I really should have used that as my opening quote. But when you're not ready, you go with what you can find first.
Yeah, I mean that's how you gotta go.
Other than biting the butt, there hasn't been like we could just quick. There's no like I don't think there's a whole point of bringing out who the particular guys are. Like they're just young kids.
Yeah, I
Like
mean
one,
there's the butt biter, Joey.
there's like some sort of fighter, right?
Well, yeah, there's so you're talking about like the fighter. Yeah, that's Christopher.
Woo, Chris, go Chris.
Kurt Cruz. There's Miles. He's a chef. He's a vegan chef, which is pretty impressive. I'd say it's like a nice trait to bring into a relationship.
But wasn't he a vegan chef / something else?
Personal trainer.
I just don't know what to believe then. Is he a personal trainer or is he a chef?
Could be both.
No.
Why not?
Because you got to choose one terrible career over the other. You can't have both.
I think vegan chef is. I mean, I think both. If you're good at it, right, you get to some high clientele.
What? Where do you think you're playing? You're like vegan chef,
like for
a vegan restaurant?
No, for like a wealthy family, right?
Wealthy vegan family.
Well, they don't even have to be vegan, but they can try to be going vegan, and you can try to make it really good. Like,
okay,
I'd want that. If I had a personal chef, I definitely would ask to make it like vegan forward, because you can like actually make it really good. That'd be great.
I want all that meat.
Nah,
meat.
Yeah, no. If I had like someone who knew how to use everything, oh yeah, I'm like at minimum vegetarian, but most I'd be pushing the vegan. I'd definitely pushing it.
Okay.
Anyway, we got a British guy. We got a British guy.
Is that Sam?
Jacob. He's British. I don't know how he got on the show. No one else is British. It's very strange. It seems like a very American show, but somehow he got in.
He's got a very weird head. His head is like oblong.
He has a weird head?
I'd say it's a weird head.
Huh. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. His physique is a little weird. All these people are really buff.
Yes.
Like these women shouldn't be able to breathe the same air as these.
Well, Joey's not.
Joey's the only one.
Yeah.
Everyone else has a six-pack.
No, so Chris, Miles, and Jacob are extremely fit. Sam is in quite good shape. Joey's fine. Like Joey's
a normal dude.
Yeah.
He's a dude. But like Sam, Jacob, Miles, and Chris should be going after hotter MILFs than the people they got for this show.
I don't think Sam isn't like jacked either or cut. He's just not.
But he's a young guy. He's attractive. He can get a bet. Like you can go maybe Barbie and Crystal and Christina. Maybe I think they're relatively attractive. But the other three,
it's just what he likes.
I don't know. They're too hot for these young guys.
I mean, I don't know. It depends what you like.
Even the dads. So like, we don't really meet the dads in the first episode. We meet the dads in the second episode, but they are some of them are jacked. I
Well,
think 3 of them have six packs as well. You know how hard it is to get a six pack when you're in your 50s?
I didn't know all. I mean, I didn't get that far in episode 2, but one of them. So the British guy, his dad's also British. He's a former rugby player, and he's still jacked.
Yeah,
Like,
he's jacked.
yeah,
Stacy is jacked, and I think
his traps
Michael is
are the
jacked.
size of our biceps. Just his traps. Like, it's like Brock Lesnar
Yeah,
size
he's
traps.
like
This guy.
huge. You know how hard it is to be huge in your 50s? Like it's like practically impossible. I can't even imagine they found people for this show that are just jacked
Yeah,
and have single dads and sons
yeah,
and want to be on a MILF dating show. Like the pool of people has to be so small.
definitely. Yeah, and so you have Stacy, Miles' dad. He's pretty jacked as well. Darren, Anthony, and Michael. Um, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily jacked, but they seem fine, like normal, like not like in incredibly good shape, and not like I'm say bad
I'm
shape.
just saying these 6 women
Yeah,
are hella lucky. Like
uh,
they're like
that's why it's the Milf Manor.
they're at the MILF Manor. Sure.
Yeah,
If you want to go to the Playboy Mansion, you go to the Playboy Mansion. If
yeah,
you want to go to MILF Manor, you go to MILF Manor.
yeah. One thing though, and like we always says, who's the worst human being? Stacy gets a really bad rep on this show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, who knows what the real story is, but like, you really feel bad for Miles. Like, he's like, so Miles and Stacy, his dad, they haven't talked in a long time, and it looks like around 14 or 13 when Stacy separated from Miles' mom. Miles put in an effort, and Stacy just wasn't having it, and like Miles tried again, like at 14, 15, and Stacy just doesn't. It seems it's so sad.
It seemed like it was happened in the last couple of years to me, but I wasn't paying that close of attention to episode 2.
Yeah, when he was talking about it, he mentioned like something around 14. Like he tried, and it was like, wow,
Well, it seemed like Stacy was unfaithful.
correct.
That was why it happened.
But then like to double down and like just not talk to your son, like
And then be on the show. How does that happen?
yeah, like again, we're getting one side of a story, but
You
oof.
do get Stacy's side.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, Stacy does have a confessional where he's like, I was a shithole. I was
Oh
a
wow.
shit person.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I mean, he doesn't. He's mostly silent, but he also like recognizes that he was a not great person. But that's just like a weird reunion to have on this show.
Very weird, but also then I think makes it less weird for Miles to be competing with Stacy in a way. Because like while he's his biological dad, clearly he's not a father figure
Yeah.
to him.
Let's see what else we got. There's a funny thing in the house called the Rilfie room.
Ralphie,
Yeah, and it's room I want to fucking.
like
I'd
it's
like to
Ralphie.
Shut up. You know what I meant. I blanked out what the L should be.
All good, all good. And then we didn't talk about the competition in the first episode, but there's
Yeah,
there's a product placement in this show that has to do with the first competition. So
it's the Canadian flag, right?
it's that and syrup. I want to buy this syrup. You know,
But I don't think that was actually product placement.
no, it was a joke.
Was it?
No, it was a joke.
Okay.
Joke.
Yeah. So the challenge is there's a maple syrup challenge where you have to try to get the most. You have to cover each other maple syrup and move the maple syrup from place A to place B in this bucket by like just covering yourself in it.
Yeah.
And it's really just an excuse to sexually assault people. It
Yes.
seemed.
Yes.
Especially so there's 5 guys in the beginning and 6 women. So the 6th woman has to be the host because their host is a cell phone, of course, the cheapest host you can get. Hey guys, hold on, guys. Let me write this text up real quick. You have to read. And she goes around and just like sticks her finger up like the guy like on the guy's balls, or was it on the taint? Where was this?
I
What
think
did it look like to you? Or
she
was it
just
just the
licks the front like of his bathing suit. So they're all wearing Canadian flag speedos, and I think she just kind of like swipes the front. That's what it
okay?
seemed like. Yeah, but like, so one this is Barbie being the host, and so they drew straws, and Barbie got the short straw. So she had the hose, but then like Barbie really stands out in this episode, and it's probably and continues in the show where she is very insecure. Like she needs to be the center of attention all the time, and when she's not, she inserts herself to be the center of attention. Uh, and I find that interesting. Like that's her personality because it's like a immature personality, and then the young guys vibe with her. So like I think that might be part of why they're all just super into Barbie because like she seems to potentially be at that 20-year-old level of
Well, she
maturity.
is an ex stripper. Comes with the territory.
You don't think you could be a mature stripper? I think a stripper would make you very mature, right? Like you've seen some shit. Like
Yeah, but you got to be the center of attention while you're stripping, you know,
that's
or you're
true.
not getting that money.
Hmm. That's a good
It's
point.
just like that's what I'm referring to.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
You are the center of attention generally if you're on stage, right? So like,
Right. Yeah.
you know, and the way she looks now, like she was probably doing real well for herself for a while, depending on I don't know where she's from.
I think it was Denver. She was stripping, but who knows? Maybe she stripped around the country. I don't know. I don't know much about the stripping market. You know how that works.
Yeah.
No.
Um, let's see.
So yeah, they did the competition, and then so the winners of the competition, we got Crystal and Chris. So they got to go on a date together. But since Barbie was the host, they allow Barbie to choose someone to go on a date with, and she chooses Jacob, the British guy. So they end up going on like a quasi double date. So they all go to the same restaurant, but then they just share a drink together, and then they go off to their own tables to eat dinner. But there's probably the most awkward reality show scene I've seen in a long time at this dinner date. Did you catch this one, Chris?
Go ahead, give it to me.
Yeah. So the four of them, Crystal, Chris, Jacob, and Barbie, they're having drinks. And just talking like coming on the show. And then I forgot who asked this, but they're saying like, who are you most attracted to when you first got here? And so Jacob, the British guy's like Barbie. And it's like, yeah, we're on a date together. This is great. And he's like, Chris, what about you? He's like, Barbie also.
So awkward.
Right in front of Crystal. Just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can't do that. That's like, but Chris is old enough. He should know. He shouldn't do that. He's 27.
Yeah, no, but even at 20, like even at 18, like you're standing in front of someone, you're about to go on a date with them. You're about to, and you just like throw them under the bus? What?
I mean, he's stuck in a weird situation. Like he wants to go on a date with Barbie. Barbie's right there, and like he's feeling like, oh, what if I throw some Barbie some like? Maybe it'll end up being that way. But
But
like,
you could have just played it out. Just be like, you know what? There's so many. I don't really know. I was like, you
I don't
don't have
know.
to give a
I mean,
direct.
the right thing to do is answer, Crystal. But like, what if that's not
No,
right? Like,
no, I don't think you should have answered Crystal because that'd be a lie, right? And that's like just you're gonna lose credibility, and then Barbie's like, oh, okay. Then Barbie doesn't get the signal, which clearly he wanted. That's why
yeah,
he just shouldn't have answered it directly. He could have been like, well, there's so many. I'm just excited to get to meet everyone.
it's like
Like,
all the women are hot. I
right,
thought all.
yeah. So then you
I'm
leave the
really
door
trying to figure
open.
out somebody's personality.
Right, yeah. He just played it very poorly.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
No one's saying he didn't. And then
Yeah.
at some point during the date, I believe Barbie asked Jacob if he had a boner, and he said yes, which
Yes.
I thought was a really weird question to ask somebody.
Yeah.
There was also another boner reference in the maple syrup challenge
Yeah.
where Christina said, "Oh, his did you say his willy went from here to here? You know,
Something like
went from
that.
small
Yeah.
to big."
Yeah. Yep.
Which that's got to be like confidence boosting for anyone on that. You know,
I mean, after watching it, yeah, like, I'm sure he didn't see the confessional, but when he watches the show, he's like,
no, not for him, for her.
oh,
You know,
oh,
for the women that like causing the boners. You know, not the
maybe,
not the ones giving out the boners.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't
Like,
think it's flattering?
I think to a degree, but like,
They're like literally touching all over them. It's not like
no,
there's like a lot more going on here.
I get it, but like at that point, how hard is it to cause the event?
That's fair.
Like,
That's fair. That's I
not
mean
gonna,
that's a good point, but you can't think about that.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, oh, like how much of an accomplishment? Like,
Um, before we get to questions, I just
yeah,
wanted to make it clear. Watching the first episode of the show, this first episode of the show is bad.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's just old women talking about how much they want a younger guy and how like
Older. I don't think. I think we got to say older. I don't think
whatever
45 is the
whatever you
old
want
woman.
to talk about, whatever you want to think. Uh,
45 old. That's a little,
I mean, as we age towards that, I mean, like maybe I need to use that vernacular better. But middle-aged women, how about that?
there we go. There we go.
Just kind of like, just be gross. I think about young men, and I think
I don't
that if
know.
this show, you couldn't make this show back, you couldn't make this show backwards. Is really what it comes down to.
Well, because like the show backwards is like common. Like I think that's the thing. Like I don't know if I'd say it's gross because I feel like there is a double standard out there, and to this show's credit, right, it's trying to put some entertainment, some
Well, just trying
something out
to
there.
capitalize on that. It's not trying to like put too much entertainment out there about it. Like if they had like okay in their intros mentioned how much they like younger guys, and then the show was just like about dating these people, but
Mm,
that's not what the show ended up being. At
yeah.
least the first episode was like, oh, how they date these younger guys, like younger. How would you like older guys? And like the whole first episode was like every 5 seconds was about how young and older, young and old, like
That's
kind of
true.
conversation.
They're definitely not like I only date people that are 20 years younger than me.
Or when it's like The Bachelor and it's like the guy's like 45 and all the women are like late 20s, like it's never brought up. No one brings about it. No one talks
Do
about
they
it.
do that on The Bachelor? Is
I
that
don't
real?
know. I don't know. I'm just saying like if that was the case, they would just have a normal show. Like it have nothing to do
I feel like we'd hear
with
about
the
that.
ages.
I don't know. I feel like that would be salacious. That would.
I don't think so. I don't think it's salacious at all.
I don't know. Yeah, I might be. I really have no clue because I haven't kept up with
You wouldn't
Bachelor.
know. You just wouldn't know because you don't know their ages.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Like Millionaire Matchmaker. I mean, it could be the same way. It's just like it should just be a show about people dating and like then you bring the dads and the sons together and that's great.
Yeah. Let's see. At BIP, on BIP, they had a 15-year age difference. Like I just did a quick Google. 40 and 25, but it seems like probably not as terribly common. But your point stands. Like I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
All right. Who is the worst? We already talked Stacy's the worst human being. Do you think this is the apex for the host? The cell phone?
um, man.
The cell phone. So
I
bad.
feel like the apex for the cell phone was that selfie with Ellen DeGeneres and all those celebrities.
It was
Like,
when Al Gore invented it.
yeah. Yeah, I think that was
Um,
fun.
let's do some drinking rules. I think we need some drinking rules for the show. And
Hmm.
I think you got to drink every time a guy takes his shirt off. Anytime you see some shirtless dude,
Yep.
take a drink.
Yep. Take a bite of a hamburger every time you see some booby meat.
Some what?
Booby meat.
Booby meat.
Booby meat.
Okay.
There's a lot of booby meat on the show.
I think you should drink every time. Take a couple drinks whenever they kiss, because some
Mm,
kissing action in this show. I
that's true.
think sexual happens.
Um, so I want this is not an episode drinking rule, but this would be a show drinking rule. Anytime the Rilfie is recommended or used, take a drink.
Here's what you can do. I think it would be fun for you is you pick a character, pick a person on the show that you like. Anytime they're like on a date or like flirting or talking to somebody,
Mm,
take a drink.
take a drink.
Like
Take a drink. Um,
whenever Barbie's out with people, take a drink.
yeah. So it looks like the cast grows a little bit too. I tried finding it out, but I saw a preview, and it's like,
Oh yeah, I think the girl from the last season comes on the show or something.
yeah, it was like there was a woman I saw in some trailer or something, and like she wasn't.
Oh, it was on the John Oliver clip.
Oh, that's where it was. Okay, yeah, I was trying to think of it,
John Oliver clip has a different woman than we've seen so far.
and so I'm gonna say you got to finish your beer every time they introduce someone new.
New people.
Yeah, because I'm assuming it's not too often, but when you come across it, you
I
gotta
mean, I can't imagine them adding more dads and sons, but
yeah,
could happen. Could happen.
yeah.
Would the show be better as a Quibi or TikTok?
Nah, I don't think so. Like, I think you got to let the relationships marinate. You know? Yeah.
I
I don't
agree.
think. What do you think? Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it would be good as a Quibi or TikTok. I think it was good as it is.
Yeah.
Um, to a point. Who do you? We don't do this one every week, but who do you think's going to hook up next? Seems
Hmm.
apt.
Um. Hmm.
I'm gonna go. I think Christina and Joey. They got that connection. They got that butt bite connection.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Christina seems to be more into the younger guys than the older guys.
yeah. I guess like, but they already did hook up. So even though they already did, it's okay to say them for next two.
I think they're gonna go further. Like
Ah.
I don't think they like hooked up. I think that they kissed for sure.
Yeah.
You think they went all the way?
No. 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 But when you say hook up, like I think it's
You think it's a kiss? Who you think is gonna kiss next?
yeah. Well, I think it's not. It yeah yeah. The spectrum could be kissing, could be all the way to like a home run.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. I
Hmm.
could tell you who wins the second challenge, and that could give you
Oh,
give us an insight.
who wins the second challenge?
The dads win, so the dads
Uh,
and the milfs are gonna go out together.
oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah.
But
I
it's hard to tell which milf likes which dad, so I don't know.
yeah. I mean, Anthony seems to be the most chummy with people. Joey's dad, like Joey and Anthony, as a combo, they both seem to have the most game. Like they know how to make things work. So yeah,
So you're gonna go with Anthony.
I'm gonna go with Anthony, and then Anthony with
Such a New York accent right
with
there,
Lynette.
Anthony.
Anthony,
I'm gonna get to Anthony.
yeah, Anthony with Lynette. That's what I'm going
Anthony. Anthony.
for. They're from New Jersey. He owns a pizza restaurant in New Jersey. That's his business. They featured it on the show. Um,
All right. We've already talked about what we liked about the show. Let's just go to ratings. So we got stack ranking system between top, middle, bottom, third.
yeah.
Some people stack rank in their stack ranks. Noah, what do you got for me?
Yeah. Man, I'm very conflicted on this show. I found myself liking the show a lot more than I thought. Like, I was very interested in continuing to watch this, which I am just utterly surprised on. Because on Milf Manor, I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't really care that much. Um, I think like it's very hard. I don't think I can make this a top show. I don't think it deserves that. If it's trying to play on us too much, but I think it was done well. It does move, even though as a first episode, like I think it'd be edited a bit better. I'm gonna go middle, top the middle because it's got you wanting more.
I agree. This is like one of the like we don't really watch too many episode 2, so we don't really know, but this is definitely the biggest quality jump between episodes I think I
Mhm.
know of.
Wow,
Like
wow.
episode 1, bottom third show, terrible.
Hmm.
Like I'd argue skip it,
Hmm.
but it'd be tough to skip. You got to watch it at max speed, maybe watch it at 2x, 3x. But episode 2, you're veering toward top third territory,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll split the difference. I'll also put it in the middle.
Hmm.
But, you know, take that for what it is. I don't know. These ratings are meaningless and mean nothing. So
Yeah. Um,
tell us what you thought about this show on Twitter or X or whatever the hell he wants to call it at Who Put This On.
yeah. I think if this show does well, how are they going to spin it up for the third? Milf Manor 3. Is it going to be Dilf Manor?
Moms, daughters, sons, fathers. Let's go.
I guess you got the daughter. Yeah, you got the daughter angle. They
You can
haven't.
add the daughters in.
And then, do you think that you bring in like guys in between? So it's like you have a daughter that's 20, a mom that's 50, and then a guys that are like 35. Like
I don't
right in the
know. I
middle.
don't. I
15
don't know.
down, 15 up, right in the middle.
Well, so they did mother sons, right? You could do father daughters.
But then that's Dilf Manor.
Yeah, Dilf
Right.
Manor.
Dilf.
We're coming back for Dilf Manor for sure.
Yeah.
I think for season 3, you got to do mother daughter, and
That's good.
then,
Yeah.
or you just reuse one of these formats. I don't know. I thought season 1 format was great. I just don't know if you're going to find anyone to sign up for that show.
I mean, you'll find people for sure. Like, you'll find.
I don't know. I'm sure they were trying.
um, yeah, the casting call for this one's got to be nuts. Like,
For sure.
just to coordinate that, because, like, the sons didn't know, the fathers didn't know.
Do you
So,
think the fathers didn't know? It seemed like the fathers
no,
might have known.
no, they made a comment. A few of them made comments that, like, they had no idea.
Well,
So
we know that Stacy didn't know because he didn't like talk to his son. But some of the other people had to know their kids were going on some sort of reality show.
they might have known that, but they, at least, maybe the producer said you have to say this, but, like, multiple of the dads mentioned, like, if I knew you were here, I'd never do something like this. Like, and so at least they make it appear that nobody knows what's up. Like, I just don't know how you coordinate the casting of this. Like, do you recruit the young guys and then it's like, by the way, we're casting for another show? Would your dad like to be into this? And, like, do you have like
Maybe you just have like like when you ask the you ask the father and you ask the son like, do you have like who's your father? Who do you have any sons? And then they cross reference that field with like the other
how
people they
could
have
they
on.
cross reference that? You just have first last names. You know
Yeah.
how many false false positives you're gonna get? Like,
No, you have the original name, and you ask who's your father, it has a father's name. And then when it's like the father, they ask who your sons are. And then the sons matching has got to be pretty good.
okay, oh, I see. Okay, so you
Like
got
you can
two.
match both.
So you
There's
match
going to
one.
be no false positives.
Yeah, I see what you're
There's going to
saying.
be a lot of false negatives. A lot more
Yeah,
false negatives than positives there.
yeah, I agree with
Like
spellings and
who
like
spells their name which way, or
Bob,
Chris,
Robert.
Christopher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, stuff
No,
like
you're
that.
right. You're right. Like even that, man. Like because then you have to have like this is not like one universe of casting people.
That's why I think they knew. But
I think they nah. The more I think of it, they had to do something coordinated where like either you're getting the dads or the sons in first, and then you got to put something out there like, by the way, we're doing this other show. You mentioned you had a son. Would they want to talk to us? Right? Because then you're kind of like cherry picking a
maybe,
little bit.
maybe, yeah, could do that.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Like, there's got
Or
to be
if
someone answers.
there's a checkbox, do you have a single father?
Right? Yeah. Right. But then it's like, as you mentioned, they're all pretty good looking and shape. Like, the casting crew is the best people on the show.
There you go.
They deserve Emmys. I hope they get them.
All right, so we should do some shout outs.
Got it.
I'll shout out the two episodes ago. Listen to the podcast. I wasn't on. Great episode. A great time. I want to kind of see what these houses look like, but I don't really want to watch the show, so I didn't watch it. So great job, Noah.
There you go. Thank you. I mean, you don't have to. There's the the OG source material.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do that either. But Game of Thrones, aka House of the Dragon, is back. Episode 1 was pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah.
Noah, any shout outs?
Trying to think of anything new to shout out. Yeah, I've done this shout out before. But there's a lot of content here. Revisionist History podcast by Malcolm Gladwell. The latest season, it's kind of cool. I don't know how new the season is. I don't think it's terribly new, but he gets scripts that never got greenlit, like fully made in Hollywood, and he calls it like development hell. And it's kind of interesting because he gets some like very name brand screenwriters, directors to talk about the scripts they have and what's about them, and then like why they didn't get made. It's quite entertaining. Yeah, so I'd recommend that latest season of Revisionist History. And if you haven't listened to any Revisionist History, you are in for a treat. Start from S08E21, buy the Pushkin Pass, yet no ads. It's delightful.
The Pushkin Pass.
Yeah, so Malcolm Gladwell started his own podcast production company called Pushkin. And so there's probably, I don't know, dozen, maybe two dozen. I don't know how many shows they have under there. But if you give them like $30-$40 a year, then you take out all the ads.
All right. Well, that's it for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at whoputthison. You can email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. You can find us on facebook.com/whoputthison. And that's it. We're other places, but whatever. We haven't really talked about what we're doing next week, did we?
I thought we teed something up.
I think we did.
What were we gonna do? Oh, OMG fashion. Right.
Oh yeah, fashion.
Fashion, yeah. Fashion.
Yeah. OMG fashion. All right. Well, we'll watch season 1, episode 1 of that next week, and we'll see you guys there.
Bye.